Hello pretties, welcome to PurxRaw. So first off, I want to show off my look because I actually really like it. It was really simple to make, but this is from my single shadows from the 3 looks 1 palette from the full palette that I created from my single shadows, which is it's gonna come up sometime next week. I don't know when. But yeah, it was making with this palette right here. I really like it. Anyway, the reason we're here today is because I did end up getting the RawBeautyKristi collab. My sister bought it for my birthday. So, you know, let's do this. I am opening the box right now. Super excited. I can't wait to do the swatch party so we can swatch the colors together and everything and whatnot. I did also get the Wildflower gloss, which is why I'm not wearing anything on my lips right now, because I wanted to put it on with you guys as well. And also, I just want to note that my hair looks so nice. I just got a haircut, and yeah, I like it. I also did buy the Pretty Fresh Blender Blush. I really like this little thing. So I'm glad I got another one of those. This packaging is honestly super cute. Some of it is like raised and it feels really nice on when you like put your fingers through it. So yeah, I still can't believe how straight my hair is. I do have very curly hair, and so yeah. So this is the Wildflower lip gloss, and let's do this. By the way, before we get started, please do not forget to like and subscribe to become a resident of PurxRaw. And yeah, let's do this. Ooh, that's so satisfying. It smells like something, and I know what it is, and I just can't place it. It just looks like a clear glass. It makes me look a little sick. I think it might be the pink undertone. Okay. So note to self, don't wear this one by itself. Okay. It absolutely makes me look sick. Oh god. Give me a sec. Okay, so I just put ColourPop's BFF2 all over my lips. I was actually not when I looked at it online, it looked like a clear gloss essentially, and there was just the slightest sheen to it, and that's kind of what I was hoping for, because I figured it doesn't matter what color it is, it's just you're barely gonna see it. But this was actually more pigmented than what I was expecting it to be, and that undertone did not look good with my complexion at all. So let's try this again, round 2. Oh my god. Did y'all see that? Look, super thick. This is my first time trying this formula from ColourPop, so learning curve indeed. But overall, once I have like something underneath it, it does look very nice and glossy. I'm a little disappointed that I really wanted to just wear on its own, but like a nice clear gloss, just because I do have that other clear gloss in my other project pan, the project pan, and I hate that formula. It's so thick. So I was hoping that this would be a lot nicer, and it is. It's definitely not nearly as thick as the one from the Ulta Beauty brand, but you know, it happened. I was just not expecting that. Anyway, let's just get started. This is the main thing we're swatching, you know. So I only got those 2 things from the collection. That's it. So at first sight, drum roll please. That's a terrible drum roll, which is why I was never in band. All right, so this is it. Look how cute this is. I will say though, she did a beautiful job. I know a lot of people like said that it reminded them like of very like nature and things, and all I kept thinking about was Alice in Wonderland. When I saw this, I was like, Alice in Wonderland. That's all I could think about this whole time. But anyway, so So I do have one palette that I know everyone's been super curious about because everybody's like, you know, it kind of looks a little similar to her Pure Collab. So I do have the Pure Collab palette right over here. So I'm definitely going to be swatching comparison. And then the one that I saw online that I was like, damn, that one's really close to it, excuse me, is the So Jaded palette. So I do have my So Jaded palette here as well. And another one that I thought looked slightly similar, definitely not dupes by any means, was the Jaclyn Hill. So let's see. I don't know that I'm gonna have too many dupes from the Jaclyn Hill, but I know for sure there should be some, and these two definitely for sure in the So Jaded. If I need to pull another palette, then I'll pull it in as it is, but I feel like I'm gonna try to focus on these two because that's the ones that I've been seeing the most about. But anyway, let's get started, y'all. I actually kind of want to start with Old Growth right here. Ooh, my goodness, they're super soft. Because there's like a slight mauve undertone, and the shade that I wanted to compare this one to is from the Pure, and I want to try, where's the neutral side? Here it is. I want to try Mood Point. I want to see how close these two are to each other actually. Okay, all right, already straight off the bat. So this is Mood Point right here. This is the one from the RawBeautyKristi collab, from the ColourPop one. This is definitely more pink. This, even though it is mauvey, it's definitely more warm. So now let's try something from the So Jaded. Is there anything in here that I can even try to compare it to? Okay, the only shade that even comes close is this one right here. So let's try that one and put it on the other side of the palette. No, completely, this was just way more purple. And I knew that. It looked way darker here than it did here. So I don't see any dupes at all in the So Jaded palette. I don't think that one looks at all like the one from the Pure collab and from the ColourPop collab. That was Old Growth. So cool, one shade down. Let's see how many more to go. Oh Jesus, okay, didn't fall. Caught it before I know it's dirty. I just didn't want to pull a brand new one. All right, or not brand new one, but unused one because I was being lazy. All right, let's go to another one that I feel like it's really popular, that everyone's trying to compare this shade right here, which is Chanterelle, which is the yellow one. And I will say it looks very mustardy. Now there is two shades in the Pure collab one. I think I might need a second one. So that's what we have right there. So I want to try comparing the Pure one. And I'm going to try to compare with Camelot right here. Oh man, I will say though, the Pure one does seem a little more pigmented. This one seems a little bit more orange tone. This one is a little bit more true yellow, like a mustard yellow. They're both mustard yellows, but just this one leans a little orange. I want to try it with the other yellow though, Dandelion right here, because, you know, why not? Ooh. Now that's bright. These are definitely mustards. This is that's a bright yellow. Is there yellow in the So Jaded palette? I believe there is. Yes, there is. All right. Gotta wipe my fingers real quick. All right, and that's gonna be from the So Jaded. It's gonna be this one right here. I cannot pronounce that, so I won't. I just won't. All right, just gonna put this one down here. Okay. So I actually want to point out that aside from Dandelion, which is the one on the bright side, these all three look very similar. But if I have to say which two are more close to each other, I would actually say that Camelot is actually a lot closer to citrine. This is what you want to try. To this yellow in the So Jaded palette, it is closer to that one than it is to the one from the ColourPop, from the Kristi collab with ColourPop. Can you see that? They're almost exactly the same. But I will say this one is so close to each other. I'm sure in the eyes you wouldn't be able to tell much of a difference, but this one's definitely more orange. These are more true mustards. Just want to put that out there. Sorry, there's a lot of kick up from those shades. All right. Let's wipe this and go to another shade. Another one. Now this is one where I know for a fact there's not gonna be a dupe in the RawBeautyKristi palette, because I'm talking about the one I'm trying to say is Fiddlehead right here. That there is not a dupe in here. Garden State is completely different, and I know that's not true color whatsoever. My lighting's kind of going away. I use sunlight and the sunlight's almost gone. But this is they're just completely different colors. Not even gonna entertain that thought. That's not happening. Give me a second, guys. This is a mess. Okay. However, I do want to compare Fiddlehead to the ColourPop single shadow in Team Captain. Now, these, in my opinion, look a lot closer to each other. Do you see that? This one does feel like slightly more grassy green, and this one's more olive green, but they're still two very olive greens. And the other one I want to compare that to is the So Jaded palette, and that's going to be in the shade Jade down here. So let's try to do those. Now all three of them are ColourPop. So if you were really interested in that Fiddlehead, you know, shadow, instead of buying the whole palette, you can definitely just buy the single if they're really close. We'll find out. So let's start with the main one, which is Fiddlehead, and put it right in the middle. So there we are. That's Fiddlehead right there. Let's grab Team Captain. Ooh. I mean, they're very close. They're very fucking close. There's very minimal difference between the two, I will say that. All right, so this is Team Captain. This is Fiddlehead. There's definitely a difference in undertone. There's almost like a blue base underneath Team Captain that I never noticed before, or maybe a gray base. Is just a little cooler than I was expecting, versus Fiddlehead definitely has like a yellow, more grassy undertone. I don't know how to explain that. But here is the third one, which is Jade. And once again, I do think that the Kathleen Lights is the closest. They're almost identical. I do think that Jade is slightly darker, but the undertone looks pretty much the same. So, you know, glad we checked it. I do think so that if that's the shade that was like calling your name from this palette, if you just get Team Captain, you're probably gonna get the same effect. Yes, there's a difference in undertone, but in the eye, I'm sure there won't be too much of a difference. BRB. Okay, one that I was really interested about was Emerald City. Now, I also don't believe there is a dupe in, I don't believe there's a dupe in the So Jaded palette. There is a shade actually called Emerald, but that one's a shimmer, so not really a dupe. But I do want to compare this one, and again, I am going to compare it to Garden State, even though I don't think they look anything alike. But I'm going to compare it just for the fucks of it. But the one that I actually want to compare it to is the Jaclyn Hill palette, which is this green right here, and it's Enchanted. So I want to try that one. I want to try comparing those two, and I also want to compare it to the single shadow in the shade Conjure Up. Conjure Up? Yeah, Conjure Up. Which is this one right here, which is a very much emerald green. If I compare those two right there, they look very similar. Ooh. Conjure Up has like a slightly lighter, if that's a thing. So let's try doing Emerald City. Ooh. Not gonna lie, guys. That is very pretty. Very, very pretty. Jesus Christ, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So that's that. Let's do... no, I'm gonna do the pure one at the end because I think that's the one that's so far off, it's ridiculous. But let's do this one right here because the Conjure Up, because that's the one that I think is the closest shade to it. I was right, it is lighter and it's also brighter. Like it's so those are the two. So see, this is Emerald City, and then this one right here is Conjure Up. Conjure Up is slightly lighter, and it's also, like I said, brighter. It has like more pop to it. So definitely seeing that. I do want to compare it to the Jaclyn Hill one, because I said I would. Oh my goodness, I totally messed up. I should have tried to do the yellow. I didn't even try. Man, I'm sucking at this right now. All right. This one looks significantly darker than the two. Ooh, no. This one, this is super nice gradients. It's actually quite satisfying to look at it. See, there's like really nice gradients between the three of them. This was significantly darker. Again, all three of them are super similar. All right, and to finish this off, let's do the Garden State, which again, this one's not even close. Like when you look at the pan, like unless it's significantly darker, which I doubt it. This one's super dark. It's still an emerald, but like it's super bright. Not dark, but bright. Look how bright that is. It almost looks blue. Yeah, that's not even close. Not even close. No. Just no. All right. Let's wipe my fingers. Okay. So the next one that I want to do is one that I feel like is most, by far, looks the closest to a dupe, to the pure one. And that's going to be P&W. P&W to me looks almost identical to Hurtful from the palette right here. So I definitely want to try those. Ooh, very, very dark. I was not expecting that. Beautiful though. So that's going to be PMW from the ColourPop collab. So let's try now Hurtful from the Pure collab. Yikes, that one was powdery. Okay, so that's one of these things where you gotta swatch them, because I do feel like when I'm looking, like just straight up looking at these two, they look so similar to each other. Do you see that? Do you see how similar they look to each other? But if I hadn't swatched them side by side, I would have never guessed how different they are. Hurtful is significantly brighter. That threw me for a loop. But there is a shade in the So Jaded palette that is somewhat similar, and I do want to try and compare those two. And that's going to be Sapphire down here. So let's try and compare Sapphire. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, no. Once again, no. And I would have never, ever realized this. Like, if I wasn't, looking at these shades. But do you see a slight green undertone in this PMW shade? I was not expecting that. Like, I'm having to look at it again. Like, is there a green? Because compared to these two shades, this looks green. At least in real life, it does. I know it doesn't look like it in my arm. But yeah, no, Hurtful, completely off from PMW. And then Sapphire here. Now, Sapphire is a true navy blue. PMW is not, by no means. Like I said, there's a slight green undertone in PMW that I was not expecting. But Sapphire is truly a dark navy blue. So, no, the undertones were completely way off. BRB. Okay. Gotta put my thinking cap on, because there's some shades that I don't feel like I need to compare because they're very clearly dupeable. And that's going to be Puffball, it's just a soft, warm brown. I do think that even if you don't have something exactly with the exact right undertone, there's plenty in your collection that comes very, very close because it's such a normal shade to have. I know the lighting keeps coming in and out, but I'm telling you the sun's about to set, so that's why I'm trying to hurry this up along. Now Rainer right here, this is a very warm tone orangey shade. Once again, I do feel like even if you don't have this in your collection, that should be very easy to dupe. I do think that both of them do have something somewhat similar in the Pure palette. That's the wrong side. I do think that Puffball looks very similar to ColourPopx's right over here. So there's that, and I'm not swatching them, but even if they're not that similar, the thing with browns is that they're just gonna blend right into your skin tone, or at least they do in mine. So I don't feel like I need to swatch them next to each other. Right there they are. They do look very similar. So there's that. Actually, I thought Told You and Rainer would be closer dupes to each other, but now that I'm comparing them right here, here they are. Not at all. Not at all. This one's definitely more burnt orange, a little more reddish. So that's not it at all. However, if I compare those two shades to the ColourPop one, so I will say that Puffball looks very, very similar to Geodude right over here. Let's see if I can do that little. I know my lighting's sucking right now, but they do a little similar. This one, the RawBeautyKristi one made a little darker. Okay, well, there's that. Now Rainer, which is that orangey shade, definitely looks very similar to Carnelian right here, but this one's a little more orange, where this one's a little more reddish. See, this one's a little darker. But see, that also looks a little bit similar to Carnate right here. I think Rainer might just be the in-between between the two, because that does look very similar. This one too, Carnate right over here. They do look a little similar. Again, even if that's not the case, I'm sure there's something in your collection that looks very close. Like, where's, oh, here it is. The Pacific Caution palette. I do think that, I'll try to do this. There you go. I do think that Maintenance right here looks very similar to Rainer. This one's a little more burgundy. This one's more burnt orange, but they do look similar. You have Culture that looks kind of similar to Puffball right here. So I do think, like I said, those are, I feel like, easy shades to find, if not dupes for something similar. So I don't want to go into those, to be honest. Homegrown honestly just looks like a warm brown. So I don't feel the need to swatch that one, because I feel like, again, you might have similar things in your collection, even if not that specifically. So West Coast, same thing. It's just gold shimmer. I feel like we all have a gold shimmer somewhere, so I'm not gonna go into that one. So that only leaves 3 more shades that I want to swatch. Now, Evergreen does seem very unique. There is a green silver undertone to it, and I know that RawBeautyKristi said that this was supposed to be a duochrome. Now, I don't particularly think that I have anything quite like it. I'm trying to look at the So Jaded palette, but it doesn't look like there's anything quite like it there either. So the only shade that I even thought about, because of the green undertone and the green flip, was Wishful Winking from ColourPop, which is significantly darker. Yeah, they're not even dupes. They're both beautiful. So this is Wishful Winking. This is the one right here with Evergreen. Evergreen does have a beautiful silver gold, I don't know, bronzy green flip to it. It's very, very, oh shoot. So I put Wishful Winking thinking that it was going to be the Evergreen one on top of each other, and I think we made magic. Do you see that beautifulness right there that I just created by accident? That looks beautiful. Oh my goodness. I might have to do that. I'm gonna have to pair these two together. They look beautiful. Okay, I have nothing to compare Evergreen to. Evergreen is a standout on my collection. Hallelujah. Give me a second to wipe this and I'll be right back. All right, my boyfriend just told me that the food is ready, so I gotta hurry this along. There's only 2 more shades I wanna swatch. Now, It's the one down here, which is Let It Rain, and there is like a red, there's some like red sparkles, but it's she said it was gray, almost like charcoal, almost black. This looks black to me. And I wasn't planning on it, but since I have it right here, I might as well compare it to the Proceed with Caution palette, which is Gloves On right here, because that one is a black with red sparkles. So they look almost identical in the pan, and they don't look that different when swatched. I mean, you can't see the sparkles in the camera. I know. But in real life, I can see the sparkles. And I want to say that this one, the one from Pretties, is actually a little lighter. They're almost identical dupes. Those two are almost identical dupes. I do want to try comparing it to Onyx a little bit, although Onyx has more of like a blue silver sparkle, and this one's more of a true shimmer shade almost, versus the other two are more like, but I mean that one looks very similar too. It's just the sparkles, again, which you can't see. The sparkles in my camera are just different color. So these two are red and this one's blue, but other than that, the undertones are almost identical. All right, let me clean my hands one more time, come back for the last one. Okay, we're here for the last swatch, which is Amanita. I think that's how you say it, which looks to be like a purple, like a purple burgundy, like wine color. Very beautiful, very, very beautiful indeed. I mean, I don't think that I would have gotten that color from the pack. Like, it looks so much darker in here than it does here. I want to see if there's anything. I don't feel like there's anything in here that would compare to this shade, except for this one. But this one's truly a red. This one's more of a purple. So I don't know that that's going to be a good comparison. So I'm not going to. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to grab Tribute, which is the purple from the... No, not even close. This was pathetic. And I knew it, you know, not even close. Not even close. I want to see if there's anything quite like it in the Jaclyn Hill palette. This one's close. Not quite the same, but close. I think the Jaclyn Hill's pretty close, but this one's definitely more red. This one's more purple. I still don't have anything quite like it that I can pull from right here. Like if I were to look, maybe I can find something similar in my collection. But just from this couple palettes right here, there's nothing quite like it. So I gotta say, this palette was a little more unique than I was expecting it to. I will say there is some similarities between this one and the So Jaded palette. I do think that it's closer to the So Jaded palette than it is to the PurXRawBeautyKristi. I do think that was correct. I could have messed with the Jaclyn Hill a little more, but I didn't. My fault, I should have. But I do think that's actually a couple of dupes in the Jaclyn Hill as well. Nothing quite like it though. And so there is that as well. Overall, I mean, I didn't buy the palette for the dupes. I bought the palette because I love Kristi and I wanted to support her. I really like the color story. To be honest, this color story is right up my alley. If I were to ever do a collab with ColourPop, it would look something like this. I'd probably do a 9-pan though and take some of it out, but it would look somewhat similar to this color story. I do love this color story. It's definitely right up my alley. I really do like it. It was a lot more unique than I was expecting it to. Definitely a lot of comparisons with the So Jaded. But, you know, there's that. The So Jaded is a very loved palette, so nothing wrong with that. Alright, I'm going to leave it like that. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a bit of a mess. I know. I could see it. But I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.